Management, one of the first skills we learned as the wise ones, and the skill that gave birth to the big, complex economies we see in the world today. When we learned how to manage resources, starting with the kill we managed to hunt in the jungle, to the grain we grew on the agricultural lands, and to the metals we found under the earth, and then to every possible commodity on planet Earth that had any value. When in the jungle, the leader of the pack used to be the strongest member, and when old, the charge got transferred to the next strongest or eldest next of kin. The management of any resources was based on the contribution of the members of the group. The struggle was real for the fair share, as the mighty got the most and the weak were left with nothing. As we kept getting civilized, we started to ask questions and started asking for the fair share. We started to think of better ways of distribution of resources. The wise ones sat down and chose a leader they thought was caring, fair, and understanding. That person became the chosen one, the manager. The manager had different names throughout the history of mankind. We called them emperors, kings, leaders, ministers, governors, and so on. In modern times, we choose the managers by voting, who manage the resources of our countries for us. How fair they are is a debatable issue. From the biggest of the economies to the smallest of a workplace, the management is always the same. Management is not just managing resources, but moreover, it's managing people. It doesn't matter what we deal in, we always deal with people. The traditional management we see today requires ones in charge to be authoritative with just one goal in mind, the positive numbers. Numbers are just a measurement of transactions and commodities. And while counting those numbers, we fail to look beyond the spreadsheets. We fail to see the hands who created those spreadsheets and people who were involved in those transactions. The human experience is left unexplored, unapproached, and completely ignored. It's the people who drive numbers, but we got it wrong. We let the numbers drive people, and we started finding ways to manipulate minds to get the numbers in the right direction. We ended up brainwashing generations, and it became an accepted practice to prefer profits over people. We have to see our co-workers as human, regardless of their status or title in the organization. We need to stop counting them as just bodies who fill in the positions. Each and every one of us is a lot more than just the employee number. We have personalities behind the uniforms, who have emotions, feelings, struggles, and strengths the same way we do. When we fail to look beyond the positions they fill, and our approach ends at the proper functioning of that particular position, we label them as misfits and replace them like a malfunctioning part of a machine. And the cycle continues with the new people in place with the same approach and with the same methodology. Some give in to the pressure and quit. Some learn the tricks to avoid being caught and stick around till they find something better. A few try to fit in and do their best, but only a small number gets lucky, and they get the recognition by a good leader, a mentor who takes them under their wing and teaches them how to fly. If a manager's approach is always with a question, the employees' all efforts will be to avoid the question, not finding the answers or solutions. If we are approached with a question that why didn't we finish the report? Why did we miss this checklist, that deadline? All our focus will be on how to avoid that confrontation. We will rush in to fill in every report without having any understanding. Finish every checklist without even looking. The systems are implemented for efficiencies, not for mere putting check marks right next to it. The system never becomes efficient because responsibilities never get shared and taken seriously, and we keep failing each other anywhere we go. That is the sad reality of almost every workplace. They are full of managers, but have no leaders. We need to shift the focus from the check marks to the checkbacks. The reason an employee is disengaged is because they never find a good reason for their engagement. How much time do we spend on explaining the reasons behind everything we expect them to do, between clocking in and clocking out? And their focus never shifts from countdown to the breaks and time-offs. We have to accept the human side of us. It takes a lot of effort to get out of the comfort zone and think beyond our paychecks. It's the habits that make us what we are, and we need a good understanding of our habits and a strong philosophy to mold these habits in the right direction. And we need to find the direction we are headed first before we can guide others. We are the beings with 1,000 flaws but 1,000,000 possibilities who, when guided properly, are capable of doing wonders. But we have to become what we expect of others. We have to lead by example. When we find our reasons first, accept our responsibilities, and be true to our cause, we will be accepted, respected, and effective leaders. A good leader always looks at the potential in others and flaws in themselves. Good leaders never fail. Either they succeed or they learn. Good leaders never see the ones with potential as a threat. They see their own future in them and through them. Leaders believe in the fact that we grow together and we fail individually. Management is a very noble profession if done with good intentions, but it's our misfortune that us managers fail to grow beyond the scope of transactional dealings we are in charge of. There are very few who are able to think and manage beyond the numbers and are able to help others manage themselves, so that the whole process becomes efficient, fair, and fruitful. Such people are called leaders. It's the leaders who have brought order to the world and made it a livable place. On the other hand, management, rather mismanagement, has led to the chaos we see in the economies we live in today. We are going through the roughest of turmoils in the modern history. The recessions are a norm. The wealth distribution is dangerously unfair, and years-long wars are going on. We are all anxious and unhappy. Wherever we are and whatever positions we are in, we all want the change in the world. But the only person we can change in this world is us. We have to become the change we want to see around us. We have to make changes at home, at work, and in our lives to get the positive outcomes out of the checklist, spreadsheets, economies, and this world we live in. Most of us will spend our whole careers implementing action plans and still fail at the end. And only a few will become the leaders who will make the difference, change some lives, and leave a legacy behind. Let's take responsibility for the lives we manage. Let's manage ourselves and lead others. That's the only way it works.